Hi everybody, it's Chartsky with the video from December 18th, 2018. December 17th was going to be the last in this little Christmas holiday um, season series, but we got to talking about something I think is very, very important and often overlooked on the 18th. So uh, I'm going to show you how we started, show you the trades, what we talked about, and then come back at the end and tell you what to do if you have any questions. But on December the 18th, we started that day out like we start every other day with a top-down analysis, winding up in our establishment of a pre-market game plan. Here's the screen capture from the 18th. You can see, let's start on the bottom left. That's crude oil was in an uptrend. We thought it was going to turn down, didn't know if we were going to get it or not. You'll see later on some stealth zones. I'll come back at the end and tell you more about those stealth zones. The second one over from the left on the bottom is gold, and we weren't expecting anything from that. The bottom right is the Euro FX. There was a major resistance level hit. We didn't know if we were going to get a trade there, where I've indicated with the question mark. And then, of course, the top two are the stock indexes. The day before the big Fed announcement and their big nonsense, the market was in an uptrend, but we kind of expected it to be choppy and whippy. We weren't really sure whether it was going to go up or down enough to get in, but anyhow, that chart is not the only one we look at in the top-down analysis. Here's the daily chart, and this is from the 17th. Now, the reason I put it there is because that bottom left note that was written there on the 17th, P&F, which is point and figure charts, show the low to be established around 2540, but then earlier point and figure charts show a major low to be set in at about 1990 or 2000. Point and figure is an old-fashioned kind of charting, like me. It can be very effective to give you longer-term turning points. It's not really that effective for day trading. But let's say, for example, on the 17th, that you got a sell signal on your system at about, 2542. Well, you wouldn't necessarily want to take that going right into what should have been a major level of support at 2540. Well, on the 18th, we talked a little bit about that. I reminded everybody what we had said the day before, showed them how it got down to about 2540, called in advance, and then it bounced. We also talked about the fact that they were within a whisker of the low for the entire year 2018, and how and why that was significant, and what to look for on the 18th if we got down close to around that low again. But getting back to the top-down screen capture, on the top, markets were in an uptrend. We didn't know whether we were going to get buys or sells. We were going to try both, or we were game to try both. The 18th was a very, very frustrating day, and I think you'll probably hear it in my voice in part of the video that you're about to see. But here are some of the trades as they were called and managed in the live trading room on December 18th. Okay, let's see here. Let me fix this. 100 ticks in the NASDAQ. We got the add-on in the S&P, 5 and 7 points working. And boy, they turned down just hysterically in the NASDAQ. 100 ticks working in the NASDAQ, 5 and 7 points. We've had to work for it this morning. Let's go to +1 in the NASDAQ. It's the whippier of the two. As soon as it turns down a little bit better, I'm going to go to +5. 5 and 7 points in the S&P. Well, we've had to work for it today. Hopefully we'll get through all this. We just have to run the stops in the S&P, and we're fine. NASDAQ, we got 100 ticks way before any of the stops down here. Just trying to hang on to this S&P because it could come back one time, especially when it gets down around 53, 52 and a half. That's a pretty good push in the NASDAQ. Let's go straight now to +5. It's a fast market. It's gapping at times. 100 ticks is what we're working in the NASDAQ. 5 and 7 points in the S&P. And where are we? This one right here, I think. Yeah, this next candle. Yep, that's right. Got down to 53.5 on that push in the S&P, and you had some front running come in. Just kind of a minor flood in of the computers, and it's just dominated today by computers. So you have to plan for their nonsense. We could get knocked out of this dead burn NASDAQ just like we got knocked out of all the rest of them so far, except for the one that spiked and lost. This is the first day in the last few weeks we've had to work past 11. Well, except the afternoon session. Or two. We've had 2 afternoon sessions in December, I think. This is such an important psychological day, being that it's our last day before Christmas. You have to live with these results for days. Okay? If it's a great day, you live with a great day for days. That helps your psychology so much. If it's an awful day, you have to live with that for days, and that's a good push down in the S&P, and it hung up though. It could come back. I'm gonna have to. Oh man, I gotta ask if I want to even be there if it comes all the way back. I'm gonna let it. I'm gonna see what it does if it comes all the way back. It's late in the morning. We certainly don't want to let it turn into a loser, but I just don't think it's going to spike up from here. It could, though. It's made a higher low over there. We can give it up to a point or so against us. Trying to hang on by our fingernails to these. Like I started to say, today is such an important day psychologically because you live with these results today regardless. We've had add-on day, add-on day, add-on day, add-on day. You have a bad day on your last day like this, that's what you're going to tend to remember. On the flip side, if you've had a bunch of terrible days and you have one good day, you get a false sense of, I don't know, accomplishment. Or all right, here we're back down to, well, we were down to 53 in the S&P. NASDAQ's trying to push down. We got 100 ticks working in the NASDAQ on a double. We got 5 and 7 points working in the S&P. I'm watching right here, 53 to 52 and a half. I know it's awful close to the target, but if it gets through there, this is the second trip down though. All right, let's go to break even. I got to try and teach you nothing but good habits, guys. It would be a very bad habit to teach you to let it come down here and turn up and go against you and then hit a stop. If it's this whippy that it can come back without running these stops, which is what we're expecting to have run, we just may have to reevaluate. Again, here's 100 ticks, and it's before any of the pivots. So the NASDAQ been the weaker the markets all morning, but I can't imagine, unless it's going to make new highs, that we can't get 100 ticks out of this. Knock on wood. We still don't have to go to +1 in the S&P. We can just go straight break even. There is an awful lot of support built up in this NASDAQ. Anyway, because it's so psychologically important, I'm willing to hang around, and well, I'm always willing to hang around, but I mean especially today. We're going to hang around as long as it takes. Within the rules, always within the rules. If we got to trade through lunch, we'll trade through lunch. If we've got to trade through lunch and do an afternoon session, we'll do it. You are not going into the holidays with a losing day. If I can help it. Let's put it that way. Sometimes you just can't help it. All right, structure's telling us higher. If we get knocked out, we're going to be buyers. Hanging on by our fingernails. Well, that 36, 37 level stopped the NASDAQ. I mean, it poked through it, but that's effectively the level that stopped it that time. I just don't want to trail. With as whippy as these markets are, I think we'll just be giving it away if we trail. It's already nipped us on 5 ticks, 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the NASDAQ. And that's okay, because it would have, all those times but one, or was it 2? One gapped and tagged us and went straight to the target. And that was See the first or the second one. And I'm still irritated about that, but nothing you can do about it. Market's not as fast as it has been, but it's still, the dome is still gapping in the NASDAQ. So it's still, and you don't know what it's going to do when it gets up there close to us. So I still have to plan for a fast market, and I still think +5 is a smart move in the NASDAQ. S&P, when it pushes down, will go to +1 at the right time. We're working 5 and 7 points there. And there just seems to be no middle ground with all this volatility. I mean, either we get an add-on day or we get what we got right now, which is a small losing day, just the simple daily profit target. And there's nothing wrong with this. I can't remember when the last time we just got the daily profit target. There we go. Sorry about that. +1 in the S&P on that push. Remember I told you on the next push, and it got through 62.5, so it should be look out below now. NASDAQ is not turning down nearly as hard, but again, the target is well within the range, so I think we're fine. 5 and 7 points working in the S&P, 100 ticks in the NASDAQ. Boy, oh boy, they came flooding in, the computers did. You got equal lows down here. Again, boy, those high frequency computers just came flooding in. Should be okay though. Should take them out. Remember, they came within a whisker of the low of 2018 yesterday. You got so much hedge fund redemption. All these people beating on the door saying, I want my money back. I want my money back. You lost 1%. I want my money. I mean, just huge redemptions. Come. All right, 5 and 7 points in the S&P. Waiting on the NASDAQ. Give us 100 ticks. That's a nice, good sell. I was starting to worry that it might drift up, but should be all right. Come on, NASDAQ. Hundred ticks. Well, this front running is just brutal. Look at this front running. We just had it. all morning, although we hadn't had them stolen from us today like we did that one day in the last week or so. I'm not going to trail it in the NASDAQ. If anything, I'm going to extend it. But I don't want to teach you bad habits. It's got too much overhead resistance now, which was support. It had to work through it to the downside, work through it as support, and now it should hit on it and bounce down as resistance. So let's just stick at 100 ticks. This is a double. Okay, I don't want to teach you bad habits, which is to get greedy. We don't want that. Move over so we'll have room to type because I'm expecting it to get through. And these will be results you'll be happy to live with until we come back for the end of the year session or two. And there you go. We just had to wait on it. 100 ticks on a double. Whoops, sorry about that. That's the wrong thing. And alive. Embarrassing. But I do that almost every single day. Y'all just don't see it very much. Big old NASDAQ trade. Oh, look at crude oil. Boy, that thing broke down. Look at all this. Wow. Came right back up to the upper stealth zone and then worked its way through the lower one, and look out below. Wow, wow. Those of you that got that crude oil trade early, good job. All right, we'll see if there's any questions. If there are, we'll deal with them. Otherwise, those of you that stuck to your plan, that didn't panic, didn't get frustrated, didn't quit, good job. Very good job. Okay, there you have it. Another add-on day through some tough trading. We had to go past 11 o'clock in the morning, and the why we went past 11 is very important. It's the same reason why I made this extra video for the 2018 holiday season, and that has to do with trading psychology, as I mentioned in the video. There's not very many simple daily profit target days in the increased volatility. So we're getting an awful lot of add-on days. We do get some, one or two that were losing mornings and we came back and traded in the afternoon session, but sure, I could call just little 20 or 40 tick trades in the NASDAQ, little 2 or 3 point trades in the S&P, and that'd be well and good and fine. But when the NASDAQ's given 80 and 100 ticks, and the S&P is given 5 and 7 points like you saw in this video today, I think that teaching to only take 20 or 40 ticks gets awful close to the get something, get anything mentality, which is a very, very bad habit. So zooming in a little bit on the bottom left down there, crude oil. I wanted to mention that as you can see, there were two chances to trade these stealth zones, and if you don't understand the stealth zones, they're like support and resistance areas. They're either weak or strong. They're marked on the chart ahead of time before price gets there, is what I mean by ahead of time. So if you wanted to take those trades, You could have the crude oil trades there alone would pay for whatever, a month, two, three, however many in the live trading room. So there's more than, like I say, more than one way to skin a cat, more than one way to use what I offer. If you're interested in learning more, or if you're ready to join us in the live trading room, please visit my blog at www.chartsky.com. If you're new, if you're struggling with maybe a combine, struggling with trading in general, you just want the second set of eyes on your chart, or you just want what I call a warm welcoming group that you can join and stick with, we'll be glad to have you if there's still room. Um, anyway, here is the CFTC disclaimer. It's very important. I urge you to pause and read it. And if you have any questions about this video or any other videos in this series, questions about anything I might have said in this or any other video, questions about the live trading room that aren't covered on my blog, or questions about whether there's still room for you in the live trading room, send me any of those questions to chartskytrades@gmail.com. We only have one day, maybe two, after Christmas. Um, we take an entire week off this year to enjoy the day trader's lifestyle. I talk about that an awful lot in other videos. And so we only have probably another day or maybe two left in 2019. So not enough time for you to get on board with us this year, but you can get a jump start. I'm sorry, I said 2018. You can get a jump start on 2019. I already got it on my mind. And join us in the live trading room. That's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed this series. I hope you've found value in it. And I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. And I hope you and your family have very, very happy holidays.
Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out.